hold it right there. When you are single again after 16 years and the whole game changed between Snapchat, S3 texting, dating apps, and no one being who they say they are, and or lying about what they want. Lord, what's with this generation? This generation. Geez, what are you doing in Snapchat? Like, this one is 30 years old, and she's S3xing some dudes she's never met. She's on Snapchat, and she dares to blame it on the generation. So what this woman is saying is like looking for food in the garbage and saying, Lord, what is it with this food nowadays? What is going on, gentlemen? Give me the sip rep. Woman over 30 who don't know what the hell is going on.
Back on the menu, boys!
So let's take a look, shall we?
So at the end of my last video, I was talking about how being almost 32, I know exactly what I'm looking for because I've been single for a long time and had a long time to think about it. So now we're going to talk about it.
Oh, let me guess what type of men you're into. Men who won't commit, Chads and Tyrones, men who will pump and dump you, am I right?
So because this has been asked recently, like what my type is, I've explained this recently, so I'm going to explain it to you guys. So if someone's asked me what I'm physically attracted to, I always tell them to reference a lumberjack. Talking tall, nice arms, bearded face, real mountain man vibes. I really like dark hair and light eyes, so I also say you can use Prince Eric from The Little Mermaid, but bulkier and scruffier as a reference too. Okay, so characteristics. I really like dominant men. I like a man that knows what he wants, says what he wants, does what he wants, and is like a go-getter.
Guys, I'm actually really glad that she brought this up, because there is a lot of misinformation going around about women saying that they want a guy who is in touch with his feminine side and who is like really emotional and has emotional intelligence and all that crap. That's just a lie.
Liar!
Right? 99.9% of women want this right here. This thing that she's mentioning. A guy who is jacked, a guy who is dominant, a guy who is assertive, who knows what he wants, who deals with problems, a go-getter, right? Like, never listen to women saying that they want to be equal, that they want to just talk problems out, that they want to, continually share feelings with each other. It's crap. Because the moment you do that, right, do that and tell me how that goes. The moment you start to whine, or the moment you're, sad for a long period of time and you share your feelings constantly, it's a huge turnoff for women. Okay, they're not looking for that. That is who they are. They're not looking for the same. And in the same way, men don't want women who are dominant and assertive and who are bossy, right? But somehow, when men say, I want a girl who is submissive, then everybody gets butthurt. Like you said, you want a... I'm not going to mention it because I know how you two work exactly, but, when men say they want a submissive woman, it's a red flag. It's really bad. But when women say they want someone dominant, everybody understands that. Anyway, let's keep watching.
Like, he knows what he wants and he goes after it. I love that. That being said, you still want someone that values your opinion. So while he may wear the pants, he still wants your input. That's important. Secondly, because I have a kid, I want someone who will be or is a good dad. That's also important. Thirdly, and because this has been an issue in our past relationship, my last one actually, he has to love sports. I know that seems like a silly request from a man, but I come from a big sports-loving family. Sports is like a second religion for us. I cannot date a man who knows nothing about sports. It will never work. You will not fit in with my family. You won't fit in with me. It'll just be awkward. add country music into that one too, because I love country music. I love all music, but I don't know how to relate to someone who doesn't like country music. I just don't. Another thing is, I don't want someone who's a heavy drinker. Once you've dated an alcoholic, that's a trigger for you. Drinking socially, totally fine. Ending every day blacked out ass drunk, that's a no thank you for me. I'll pass on that. Thanks. And lastly, and probably the most important thing to me, is I want a man that's a real give you the shirt off your back type of person. Because that's a characteristic of my dad that I love. And anybody who knows my dad knows he will give you the shirt off his back. You need help, he will drop it and be there. And that's what I want in a person, is a man who will drop anything he can to help others. That's important too. That's my list. I don't think it's that hard, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think it's that hard either. Gentlemen, what percentage of the male population do you think that fit this persona that she's asking? You know, it reminds me of a Think Before You Sleep video from 3 years ago, where there was some average woman and they had a list of 30 to 40 things they want in a man. This woman wants Prince Eric, you know, but what kind of princess are you? You want all those things. What do you have to back it up? If there is a man who possesses all those things, why would he date you? There are thousands of Beckys who are just like you. Why should anyone pick you? This gentleman, this right here is what is keeping women single. I here and there get a comment from a woman on my videos, but I am not on dating apps. I'm a good girl and I've been single for 7 years. So why is it? Why don't men ask me out? Probably they do. You just have the standards of you want Prince Eric. Lower your standards, ladies, and maybe, you know, you'll get a man. No, most certainly you'll get a man if you lower those damn standards.
Still single, so maybe I'm asking for too much. I don't think I am, though.
No.
Okay.
No.
Married friends, when you're thinking about how much you hate your husband or your spouse, you're like, just leave him. Don't. Here's why. I went on a date with this guy, and like he was cute. We met, whatever. And we get to talking about payphones. And he looks at me and he's like, well, I've never even seen a payphone. I wouldn't even know how to use one. And I go, hold on, how old are you? When agreeing to go on this date or like dating, it had never even occurred to me in my brain that I would have to worry about someone being like too young for me because I haven't dated in a decade. This kid was born in 1998. I mean, I'm too old to have been his babysitter even. Or like, it's fucking rough out there.
All right, I'm going to try to get better at not being so rambly. I am just coming on to say that I learned a big lesson this week with dating, which is to trust your gut. I know this. I have experienced this over and over where something feels wrong, it is wrong. But I ignored that with a guy that I had met on Bumble. He lived out of state. I've never met anyone out of state before, but I decided I need to be more open and just kind of see what happens. And we did click on the phone, but there was just something I kept questioning. I said to a friend of mine over and over, I think I like him, and yet there's something really just off, and I don't know what it is. I've never been this nervous. I've never just felt like this unsure about something. And he told me that he was a doctor, so, I Googled him, and I could see where he definitely was in med school, but, I couldn't find where he worked. Just things that you should be able to easily find on Google. I do that every day.
Guys, I don't know how this Googling stuff works. I don't think everyone has a Google profile or something. I don't know how this woman Google people. But am I the only one who finds it extremely creepy? Like, these women are Googling people and looking at where they live and who are their families, who are their relatives, their friends, etc. I don't know, man. I find it really creepy.
for my job, find doctors. So I just was feeling weird. If I would ask him about his day, he would be really snappy about it. At one point, he disappeared for 24 hours and he said he was sick, and then he said he was in a hotel because his internet went out, which can all be true. And so I was trying to like be more open and not question things and just be okay. So the time came that he said he would come meet me. I said, that's cool. You need to get a hotel room if you don't want to drive back to the state where you're from. He's from 2 hours away. So, but I made it clear, like, I don't know you. You're a stranger from the internet. He gets here Friday night. We meet in a parking lot to go to dinner. He was really just kind of agitated and like kind of threw his phone at me to try to fit, because he couldn't figure out the parking. And it was just like a really weird beginning, but I thought, okay, just awkward, maybe he's nervous, whatever. But the whole dinner was like that. Like, he kept asking me questions like about if he really did need somewhere to stay, and I'm like, you don't have a hotel? And he's like, no, and I'm like, no, you really need somewhere to stay. And so he was like, well, I came here to see you. The least you could do is help me out a little bit. Like, he just a couple of times just kind of jumped on me. And I think he could tell when I would kind of react. He'd be like, sorry, but it was just the most bizarre thing. He ended up driving back. Long story long here. He drove back, and all is over there. But I just want to reiterate, listen to your gut. I knew this was wrong from the beginning, and I just did it anyways.
Yeah, and you know why? Because you like him. Because when women like you, when women like a man, they're willing to, just blind their eyes for all the red flags. Because if this guy was average, I mean, not even average. Women call average pretty decent man. But men who are a 7 out of 10, a 6 out of 10, they are normies to these women. They don't care about them at all. They're not willing to go through anything for them. They just keep them as betters or as, farms of attention. But when they really like a guy, so a guy is 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10, when they really like him, and they close their eyes. This is the perfect picture. This is what this woman does with men that she likes. And all women behave like this. So every time I get a TikTok of a woman saying how a man had like 50 red flags and they knew right from the beginning he was bad, well, why would you stay with him? Why would you continue giving attention to that man if you knew he was bad? Because they always get soft on their knees for chat. And that's how they get used. That's how, all men are bad, etc. Where are the good men? You are the ones who are willing to close your eyes for all the red flags just for that sweet moment with chat, isn't it? But gentlemen, I've had enough of women not being clever enough to date. Leave me your thoughts down in the comments, and I will see you next time.